Check. What's up, ninjas? Welcome back to the second part of the gun collection series. Today we're going to be doing the Rimfire rifles. Last episode, if you haven't checked it out already, check it out. I'll have it linked in the description. Also, if this is like further on down the road when you're watching this, I'll have an entire playlist full of the entire gun collection series. So let's get right into it. We have 10 guns this time. Last episode, the shotguns, we only had 5. So this one is going to take twice as long, maybe? I don't think so. I'll try to narrow it down. But we're going to get into it. I've got a lot of guns all over the table. As I pick them up and show them to you, I'm going to set them off to the side. Alright, first up, we're going to start with my very first .22 rifle. This is the Savage Springfield Model 187N. This is a tube-fed .22 long rifle. It also accepts shorts or longs. So I don't know if this will actually cycle the shorts, but with a 15-round tube in the long rifle, you could probably fit, I don't know, maybe 25 of the shorts, maybe more. So it's a standard semi-auto blowback .22. You have your charging handle here, and you just pull it back. You can also lock it to the rear, pull it all the way back and push the charging handle in. You have your safety, just a flip forward tang safety, and the trigger's pretty standard. It's just an old reliable .22. I guess it's not really super reliable. No .22 is going to be reliable, but yeah, very cool. I got this gun when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. I remember going to this like random trailer with my grandpa and my cousin, and me and my cousin were just playing outside. And my grandpa came out with this, and he said, "Here you go. Here you go, son." So that's a little backstory on my very first .22, the Savage Model 187N. Very cool little rifle. Very cool little rifle. I've had this for a long time, obviously, since I was 8. I've probably had this thing, what, 20 years now? 7 or 8? I don't know. But we'll set that one off to the side and move on. I guess we're going to go semi-autos first. I don't know if it really matters a whole lot as far as the order. But second, we have, this is no particular order anyway. This is the Marlin Model 6083. So this is basically a Marlin Model 60, but it's the Wagon Train Commemorative Edition. So let's see if you guys can see that. So we got the Wagon Train coin embossed into the stock. And then we also have the gold trigger, which I think only the commemoratives came with the gold trigger. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sure somebody in the comments will let me know. But the lettering on the barrel is also gold. I don't know if you guys can see that. Just another tube fed. And similar, very similar to the 1022. Except the 1022 is magazine fed. But really similar to the 1022. I haven't shot this thing yet. It's more of a collectible since it is the commemorative. Maybe we'll do a .22 range day. I know I've just been shooting the bolt actions. And then we just got the Bear Creek BC 201. So this one is .22 long rifle only. And then it's tube fed, 15 rounds I'm pretty sure. Standard capacity on a tube fed like this. Not too much to talk about on this other than it's the Wagon Train Commemorative Edition. Just a standard Marlin Model 60. Let's see how fast these things pile up in this corner. Which one's gonna fall first? Alright, so I guess we're doing the tube feds first, since that kind of seems to be the theme. But we'll do this one first, actually. So this is a very unique rifle, I think at least. This is the J.C. Higgins Model 30. It's pretty cool, actually. It's tube fed. And if you can look here, it's a left side charger. So when you're shooting it, see if you guys can. When you're shooting it, if you have a jam or anything, just easily take your thumb and pull it back. You don't need to take your hand off of the grip here. The sights are okay. It does have dovetail for a scope. Haven't shot this thing either. I got this during the 2020 period, I guess. I don't want to say anything more than that, but got this at a gun show. Very cool. The most cool thing about it is it has the built-in sling inside the stock. So it's got a little, kind of like a seatbelt contraption, and then you have your little triangle looking piece right here where the sling actually connects into, and then you can throw this around your shoulder. Very unique. I'm not sure how old this thing is. I would say maybe like late 70s or 80s or something. I don't really know, honestly, but I'm sure there will be people in the comments to let me know if you guys have one of these. If you have any of these guns, let me know. Maybe we can talk about them in the comments. But yeah, the J.C. Higgins Model 30. Very nice. I love the machine work on the bolt. It's kind of like a, you guys probably can't see it, but it's got a cool pattern to it, to say the least. I guess that's pretty much it for this one. The stock is in two pieces, so you have your buttstock here, and then you can see it's in two pieces. Nothing much more to talk about on this one, I don't think. Just a tube-fed semi-auto. The really cool thing about it is it's left side charging. J.C. Higgins Model 30. One of these is going to fall, I know it. It's going to be caught on camera too. Alright, we got one more tube fed. This is, I just got this recently. I traded the, in the shotgun video I talked about, we got rid of the 20 gauge Remington 870. Well, I got it on a trade for this. So this is a Remington Speedmaster Model 552. And this one, like the J.C. Higgins, is tube fed and it has the left side charger. But this one has, I guess, a two-piece stock, just the stock and then the handguard. The receiver is all metal up here. Pretty cool. It's got the crossbolt safety, dovetail. It's got a really unique scope on it. It's an old Redfield. But if you guys can see that, maybe the focus is throwing it off. But the scope is actually not circular. It's more of an oblong. I don't think I've actually ever seen a scope like this, to where it's not a circle. It's like a rectangle, a rounded rectangle. Yeah, the sight window is pretty cool though. But the Remington Speedmaster Model 552 tube fed. I'm assuming all of these are 15 rounds. Haven't shot this one yet either, unfortunately. I've been getting a lot of these guns, and then it's deer season, so I can't go out to the range, and then everything just accumulates. So I'm still buying guns, but I'm not able to go shoot the new ones, other than the tunnel range, which it's not really the best location to film at. Alright, we're done with all the tube feds. I guess we'll do regular semi-autos. So this is the Ruger 1022. Standard stainless version, just a regular degular 1022. I always wanted a 1022 in stainless. I really would like the wood stock one, but I think this one was a little bit cheaper. I also got this during the 2020 era. I think maybe right before that, actually. It was right before that. And I don't know, I've shot this a few times. I had quite a bit of jams with the 25 round mags, so maybe I just won't use those anymore. It's not 100% super accurate, but not really. Most standard 22s are, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But yeah, just a regular degular 22. I told the wife this was going to be for the kids. The kids are still not really big enough. I really wanted to do like a bull barrel setup with this 1022. I just never really wanted to pull the trigger on spending the money for a barrel and all that. So that'll bring us into the next gun, which is also kind of a 1022. Let's get right into that. Alright, so this next one, I recently did a video on it. I did an accuracy test. This is the Bear Creek BC 201. Pretty much a standard 1022, except this one comes with a bull barrel, which for how big the barrel is, you would think this thing would be super accurate. I tested it. and I'll have the video linked in the description if you guys want to check it out. I tested it on a not so great windy day, so I do want to get a redemption, but the results that we got were not that great. So this is the BC201. I've just got the Vortex Diamondback on here. I gotta tell you, this thing is heavy. I really wanted it to be super accurate. Like I said, we're still gonna do some more testing with it, but it's not looking good so far. A really cool thing about this gun is it has the Picatinny rail milled into the receiver, which I thought was pretty cool. It's not going to be able to come loose and shift on you because it's a part of the receiver. You would expect a big heavy bull barrel would be a tack driver, but it's not the case with this. Either I just haven't found the right type of ammo, or just this thing just doesn't have it in it. But yeah, the BC201, we'll set this off to the side. Move on to the last semi-auto. So the last one in the semi-auto collection this is actually a 22 Magnum. This is the Savage Model A22 Mag. So obviously it's a 22 Magnum. Similar magazines to the Ruger 1022. They're rotary style. And this thing has a very smooth action. I've only shot this a couple times. It's got a Tasco scope. I've got this on a trade or something. I don't even remember how I got it, but pretty cool. 22 Magnum. This would be good for poaching deer. I'm just joking. But yeah, very cool little Savage Model A22 Mag. Not a whole lot to it. I do like, I don't know how well you can see the bolt. It does have a big long bolt, and that reciprocates back. It also has the bolt lock right under here. It's got a nice long barrel. It's, I wouldn't say a heavy profile, but it is a little bit thicker than some of the others. Definitely a cool little rimfire rifle here. I think Justin Wurst actually has either the 22 long rifle version of this or the 17 HMR. I can't remember which one. But yeah, I saw it on his channel one day and I was like, hey, I got one of those. So, Savage Model A22 Mag. I only have 3 bolt action 22s. 2 of them are on the table. 1 of them is under the table in the case. So I'm going to have to get that out. But we'll go over these first 2. This is my kid's gun, the Savage Rascal Lefty. So I don't know how many of you guys regularly watch the channel or keep up with everything, but my son has a right eye that doesn't really work too well. He's legally blind in his right eye, so he has to shoot lefty pretty much, or he's going to be shooting righty, leaning his head all the way over the stock, and that's just not going to work. So I got him this little lefty Savage Rascal for him to practice with. They're just single. It's pretty much like a cricket, just a single shot bolt action. There's no magazine, so you just throw the round inside the chamber, close it. You have your safety right here. And I just put this little scope on it for him. Nothing too special really, but it's just a cool little training gun, I guess, for the kids. That's pretty much it as far as a Savage Rascal. If you got kids, I definitely would recommend getting one of these or a cricket to start out with. It teaches them basically how to work a bolt action and then how to load the ammo and stuff like that. So very cool setup. It also has the trigger safety here, so they're not gonna accidentally bump this thing, and then it also has the manual safety. But the Savage Rascal, I actually want to get. I think Cricket makes like it kind of looks like an L96, but it's a Cricket 22. Next up on the list, this is the second to last of the 22s. We have the CZ457 Scout. So I recently did a video on this as well. I've been getting into like the rimfire, precision rimfire. This Scout, for what it is insanely accurate at 50 yards. So it's just a short 16-inch barrel. The profile of the barrel is not like a bull barrel. It's not straight all the way down. It's got a taper to it. But even still, it's really accurate. I was able to get some really tight groups with it. And then shooting on the ARA targets, I was able to get hundreds most of the time. The only time I messed up was because I'm used to the 3-ounce trigger in my other CZ457, and this one has like a 1-pound trigger. And I know that's kind of crazy to say, like, oh, 1 pound is so heavy, but compared to the 3-ounce trigger that I have, it's like night and day. So you're squeezing the trigger, you're thinking it's going to break immediately, and you have to kind of pull it, and that can shift your point of impact just slightly. But I did have the Vortex that I put on the BC201 on this. I took it off because I didn't have another scope. I didn't feel like buying one just for an accuracy test. So that's why it doesn't have a scope on it. But the plans for this gun, I bought this gun because they are the cheapest CZ457 you can get. I got this for like $467, I think. Really good price. So what I'm doing is I've got a barrel pre-ordered. So I'm getting a heavy barrel for this thing. On my other CZ457, I also have the 16-inch. But I want something longer. I want to be able to be as accurate as I can. So basically the reason I bought this gun is for the action. I'm getting a different barrel in it, and then we're going to do some swapping around with the chassis. And I'm going to have a nice bench rest setup. So that brings us to the last rifle on the Rimfire collection list. We have my CZ457 Varmint. This is the 16-inch version. I have a bunch of videos on this on the channel. Basically, this thing is what I got started with doing, like the precision rimfire stuff. It's been a good gun. It's very accurate. I put the gray birch chassis on it, and we have the Arken EP5 Gen 2 7-35 by 56. This scope is massive for a 22, but the 35 times zoom is just really nice when you're trying to shoot a small little dot at 50 yards. But when I bought the gun, originally it was supposed to be a 20-inch barrel, and I have videos of this if you guys want to check them out. I have a playlist of every CZ457 video, so if you guys want to check that out, that will be on my channel and possibly in the description if it'll let me link a playlist there. But the gray birch chassis is pretty sweet. It's got the folding stock. This thing can be thrown into a nice little compact package. Obviously with this huge scope, this isn't going to be something you're going to want to lug around in the woods and hunt squirrels with. This is pretty much strictly set up for a bench rest style gun. One thing I don't like about it is the stock. I kind of wish it was a little bit thicker. But yeah, this thing is really nice. It's got the Arca rail on the bottom for a nice bipod. I usually just throw it on the bags and then we'll hold it super steady. A really awesome feature about this is the jarred 3-ounce trigger. See if you guys can see this. It just takes barely anything to set that trigger off, which is really good for trying to be as accurate as you can. CZ457 Varmint. This is my prized possession of the 22s, I think. Other than my first 22, that's sentimental. That's going to do it for the Rimfire Rifles collection. Make sure you guys check out the other videos in the series if you're just now watching this. I have a whole playlist. It should appear in the top corner of this video towards the end of the video. But check that out. Check out the podcast, which the first episode should already be up by now. If not, something tragic has gone wrong. So the podcast will be called the 2A Team. It's kind of a play on the A Team. But we're just going to be talking about guns, talking about just random stuff pretty much. It doesn't have to be anything 2A related. But the 2A Team podcast, me, Silver and Black Entertainment, Eyes and Ears Tactical, Citizen 2A Citizen if he gets his schedule changed, and Justin Worst. So definitely check out all those guys. Maybe you guys, any of you other content creators watching, you guys want to do your own gun collection videos. It'd be really cool to see what everyone's working with. So it doesn't have to be a series like I'm doing. I'm just doing this because I have so many and it would take like 4 or 5 hours to film everything. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.